Okay, so now let's get into this story about, before we get to the 50 Cent story, I definitely want to give a shout out to the Lorenzo family because, Irv Gotti's real last name was Lorenzo. He passed away yesterday at the age of, how old was he? 54. I think he had like a series of strokes. And this is a sidebar. I just found out like there's a lot going on. So I feel like a lot of people definitely take care of your health. Like I found out because my mother and my sister ended up going to LA, which had me freaking out because, with all these plane crashes and stuff that was going on, I was nervous because I was like, now they got to fly back. Her, my grandmother, and it's like three different generations of women I'm worrying about that's not going to make it back because of this idiot in the damn White House and that fool over there who's running the transportation company who used to be on freaking The Real World, um, getting groped and had his nipples lit by Montana. Remember that season when he was up in there in his underwears? And yeah, Montana crazy behind up there licking on his nipples. He was on Real World Boston. If y'all didn't know, I'm taking y'all back. Yeah, the person that's running the transportation company that replaced Pete Booty Plug used to be on, The Real World. Everybody gotta get a start somewhere, right? But anyway, so I'm sitting here freaking out, worrying about that and all this other stuff because my uncle, come to find out, they said he had that thing that's going around where they talking about with the chickens and all the other stuff that's getting all sick, and that's why people worrying about the eggs and all this other stuff. So apparently he was sick from that. They said it wasn't asthma and it wasn't, because my uncle has asthma and all other stuff. So it wasn't that followed by a heart attack. But I think when they were trying to revive me, had a heart attack. First of all, I also heard that that my uncle's thing was a shit show. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. So yeah, I was sitting there worrying about all of that. And then now we hearing about Irv Gotti passing away because he's having strokes. And then I'm hearing Matt Penfield, who used to be an MTV VJ, had a bunch of damn strokes. So the point of this is men of a certain age, once you hit that 45-year mark, this is definitely the time we need to get our behinds into, the hospital, get our checkups. When if you feeling a way about something, don't ignore it. Go to the doctor, have them check it out because you may not make it. So just be out here taking care of yourself. So basically, that long-winded thing I had to say was to tell y'all, take care of your butts. So, with all that being said, from I had heard yesterday, they said that he was on life support. And then I think within an hour, because I was trying to be nice about it, I said, by Friday, I think they basically was pronounce him dead. But Charlie, we didn't even make it to 24 hours before they actually made the announcement. And so, yeah. And I know people feel a way about Irv, and rightfully so, especially, the way that he treated Ashanti. If y'all seen many interviews from her in the past, where she talked about how he was real mean and selfish to her and the things that he did, we could put all that to the side to acknowledge the fact that, you know what, during his time of running Murder Inc. and everything that Irv Gotti had did, that he was a prominent staple in the hip hop game. So we got to give people their props and not always be so quick to just, well, fuck him because da 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 da. And so we could appreciate the things that people have done, but also call them out of the other mess as well. So yeah, they said according to the Hollywood Reporter, a cause of death has not been confirmed, although sources tells Variety that he had suffered a series of strokes in recent months. Now, throughout his career, Gotti, who was born Irving Domingo Lorenzo Jr. Child, you Dominican? You got a lot of names. And they said was a mastermind executive and record producer who shaped the sound of mainstream music at the turn of the century. With his Murder Inc. label, he dominated radio and charts by bridging the divide between pop and rap, serving as a marketing guru and at the time one of hip hop's most influential figures. Beyond his success as an executive, you got to also realize that, yeah, he definitely, and look, say what you want, and I know y'all like to throw shade on her singer voice, but guess what? He did give Jennifer Lopez a lot of bops, including, well, some of them was written by Ashanti and did feature a couple of her vocals and, on the background and stuff, which they always do when it comes to music, especially if you're using demos and things. But, when he gave us songs like, the Murder remix of I'm Real, Ja Rule's Always on Time, and Fat Joe's What's Love. And then what's that other song? When they go, yo, hips, yo, I love it when you kiss me, baby. That was my shit, bitch. When I tell you I used to live for that damn song, But anyway, so they also said that, and of course, I got to shout out Queens because that's where I'm from. First of all, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, but Queens was where I resided as I was growing up. So basically, he got his start in the music industry as a DJ and producer with early credits on Jay-Z's Can I Get a Wood Wood? And then Foxy Brown's Hot Spot. He served as an EP on DMX's groundbreaking 1998 album Is Dark and Hell Is Hot and the soundtrack for the 1998 film Belly, prompting music exec Leor Cohen to give him his own label under the Def Jam umbrella. And when I tell you, I used to run that damn Belly soundtrack into the ground. The movie wasn't that good, but I was living for Hype Williams and all the color palettes that he was doing throughout that movie. And shout out to Terrell Hicks, because I love me some Terrell Hicks back when she was in A Bronx Tale. That's how far back I go with her. But she was in that movie too. And then you had Nas was in it and a bunch of other people. So that was it was a film. It did what it did, but it wasn't that good of a movie, quiet as it's kept. But it was good for for hip hop. So now, following his tenure as an AR at Def Jam, Gotti co-founded Murder Inc. with his brother Chris Gotti in 1998 and released Ja Rule's debut album, Veni Vidi Vici, the following June, which I actually have that CD in storage somewhere. That album became a massive smash for both Ja Rule and Gotti, who EP'd the album and helmed every song on the project. Now, Murder Inc. swiftly emerged as a turn of the millennial answer to Diddy, Bad Boys Records, with Gotti appearing in music videos and popping up on records. In October of 2000, Ja Rule released Rule 336 and Gotti returning as EP for the project and acting producer for nearly the entire album. The project ushered in a mainstream renaissance for Gotti, who signed Ashanti the following year and released her eponymous chart-topping debut in 2002. He then took a victory lap where Irv Gotti Presents the Ink, a compilation record showcasing artists from the label, including Charlie Baltimore, Vita, and Cadillac Top. Don't, child, you ain't got to tell me, because I will tell you this. I was a big fan of Murder Inc. and a lot of the music they was putting out. So all these CDs and stuff that they mentioning, I was definitely up in the store buying it. Whatever happened to Charlie Baltimore? Remember, she was another one of Biggie's mistresses. That was the only thing I always knew about her. And then Vita was all right, but her career ain't really popped either. Now, Murder Inc.'s vice grip on mainstream music slipped after federal agents raided its offices on suspicion of drug money laundering in January of 2003 and took a reputational hit after Ja Rule engaged in a career of bruising beef with 50 Cent. Gotti rebranded the label as The Ink in December 2003, releasing albums with Lloyd and Ashanti in the years that followed. Shout out to Lloyd. I know he's still out here playing his music and ain't bothering nobody. Yet after signing to Universal Motown in 2006, Gotti's label struggled as artists started leaving the imprint. In September 2013, he rebranded the Ink as Visionary, and 4 years later revived Murder Inc. in a partnership with 300 Entertainment. In June of 2022, he shared a video on Instagram claiming that he signed a $300 million deal with brand management company Iconoclast to sell them 50% of his Murder Inc. masters. Last year, Gotti suffered a minor stroke related to his years-long struggle with diabetes. Now, during his appearance on Drink Champs, he described how diabetes starts deteriorating your body and said that he used insulin from time to time, but noted that he did not have his diabetes under control. Well, the one thing that's definitely important is that you got to have that diabetes under control. So if you're somebody who does not have their diabetes under control and you're sitting here saying that you only use insulin from time to time, until you get that diabetes under control, you have to use your insulin until the doctors say, okay, you've got it under control, now we can wean you off of it. But people need to understand, and this is why I was saying before, it is definitely important that people get out there and start taking care of their health and stop just brushing it off like, oh, it's whatever. And then you end up in the situation you're in. Now you out here having a series of strokes, and it probably will be diabetes related. Now, speaking of 50 Cent, 50 Cent felt the need to go on social media and start popping mess in regards of, trolling Irv Gotti because he had heard about him being sick. So he was basically blasted for making fun of Irv on Instagram after the music producer's death, including some commenters who said he was going to hell for the brutal comment. Well, child, we've been saying that 50 going to hell. And look, this is the same person that don't have nothing to do with his biological son. So, well, I think is his firstborn. So if you basically turn your back on your own kid or is, I don't necessarily know the relationship with all the children he has, with all the different women he has relationships with, but if he's going to be that cold to his own flesh and blood, makes you think he gives a damn about how he treats Irv Gotti. There's always going to be a special side of Hades that he'll be sitting his black ass on. So the rapper, who's been caught up in a bit of feud with Gotti over 20 years, posted a tasteless tribute to the entertainment executive after he died at age 54. Now, Curtis decided to share a photo on Wednesday of himself smoking a hookah while seated on a couch next to a tombstone that read RIP. And I do have the picture because you know I got to come with the receipt. And that's basically the picture that his foul ass went and took. Now, he said with the following, I'm smoking on that Gotti pack, and said, nah, God bless him, LOL. He also shared a photo of Gotti in the post, making it clear he was indeed referring to the late Murder Inc. co-founder. And 50, you sitting up here thinking that shit's funny. First of all, them hookahs, them vape pens, all of that stuff that y'all out here using, worse than cigarettes. So, y'all thinking it's cute or whatever to be out here smoking them damn hookahs and all that other mess? When you wind up with a third of your lungs burned to a damn crisp and you having all kinds of respiratory issues, don't say I didn't warn you. That's why I don't no longer mess with that. Because yeah, I used to be up in them clubs, in the Dominican, clubs or whatever, or in the homosexual clubs where they do allow hookah smoke. I don't do that no more. After I started hearing about what the hookah does to your lungs, it's like it's cute when you're doing it, but and I be liking them flavored ones, but I was like, nope. I like my lungs a little too much, especially with all the talking I do on these shows. I need my lung capacity. So now some IG users were not pleased about the post, and one wrote the following. They said, there's a special place in hell for you. The fact that you came so close to facing death yourself and you still have this mindset is beyond me. Oh yeah, because remember, he was once pow-powed 9 times. Well, first of all, that person that did that to him wasn't a good damn shot. Because how you survive 9 shots? But then again, that's the same thing we can say about Chad Meeks Martin and Screams 5 and 6. How you survive all them stabations? So yeah, the social media user was seemingly referring to when 50 had been, well, we already know what happened, because why am I even referring to it? Because it says it in the article, but I just told y'all what had happened. Now, another person wrote, only a devil would mock death. Every soul will die. A different Instagram commenter said, one thing about cancers, they will sit and wait on the ultimate petty card. That kind of makes me wonder, sidebar, what the hell is Tyra Sanchez's sign? Because remember when the Vivian passed and this heifer came out and made a comment on social media and they dragged his behind down to the floor over that comment? Oh, you sitting on something that was like a couple of years ago that somebody wrote to you on social media and you waited to this moment to comment? That bitch probably a damn cancer herself. So what else was said? Okay, so then another person said, very, very, very slow, but be careful how you treat people. History doesn't delete itself. Fellow rapper Bobby Shmurda replied, yo, this thing is crazy, son. Meanwhile, the cause of Gotti's death is currently unknown. And then we already talked about the minor stroke situation and then his whole diabetical situation as well. So yeah, we got a couple of the tweets in here where y'all could see some of the comments that a lot of people saying. Is there another one? Oh yeah, that one was already posted. I like this one. Somebody put, and I was like, well, why didn't I think of that? What a cornball. Because I'm sitting there like, oh, that's clever the way they was doing like the emojis, a corn and then a ball, cornball. I was like, okay, that cuts right to the chase instead of us having to run our mouths about it. What else did the people was saying? Another person said, we all meet the grave champ. This corny. Another person said, this is wrong. Another person said, at least he said, God bless him. Girl, really? Oh, what you saying? Best we gonna get? I guess, yeah, from somebody who's petty as hell. And then this ding ding goes and say, y'all could always unfollow him. Simple. Well, here's the thing. How's that the answer? Like, well, you can always unfollow him. It's just as simple as that. First of all, I don't follow his ass, but this is making the rounds, and as somebody who is a media pundit, I gotta talk about it. But then everybody else was like, Maybe people just know that, well, it's expected that 50 is going to be petty. But I don't think people were expecting this level of petty to come from him, that you would stoop this low. But here's the thing. When y'all sit up here and y'all cackle and y'all kiki and think it's real funny that 50 comes out and says all the things that he says, what makes you think that he has a bottom, that he has a rock bottom or a low, that he won't stoop? We're in this era now of just, people out here just saying all kinds of stuff, and they're just going to keep digging down to the earth's crust to their amount of petty and shade. There's no guardrails at this point. So why would anybody be surprised that 50 would have some kind of decorum? So I definitely feel what he was saying in regards to this. And I just think like nobody should be surprised by what 50's saying. So I ask all of you, what do you think of this story? Y'all shocked that 50 would go this low, speaking ill of the dead, and his body ain't even been cold yet. And here you go out here throwing shade at somebody who you didn't get along with in the music business. It's like you making all your money. You're successful in your own right in so many other ways. I just don't understand the level of people who still sit around and hold grudges and be petty and stuff. Like, I don't allow that energy to reflect me because I'm secure with who I am. So this just feels like it's a level of insecurity on 50's part that he has to continue to do stuff like this because he's just a damn troll. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.